Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Well, today, no matter what the weather is like where you are, I hope you're getting in the holiday spirit because let me tell you, retail is, beauty retail especially. We got the Santa hat on the cow. We got the sleigh bells. It's time for a holiday release from my favorite. I get really excited. This is the brand new Nars Rising Star Cheek Palette. It is the first of some holiday releases from Nars. This one devoted just to cheeks, but we're going to use it on eyes too. I come to you completely fresh face today with just the base done and a little bit of this new Powermatte lipstick from Nars because we are going to kind of swatch this all over my face and eyes and have a lot of fun with this palette. But let's look at it first. So the Nars Rising Star Cheek Palette is limited edition, as pretty much all Nars releases for the most part are. And it is a holiday themed with stars, which I kind of like. So they're not going just precisely for one holiday. They're kind of, you know, including everything in there in this cheek palette. And we have some limited edition, as I told you, shades, 6 of them, with a radiant finish that are supposed to be flattering on all skin tones, but our community will let us know on that. And as usual with Nars, we have these cool kind of stars in the shades there, in all 6 of those shades. They have a lightweight powder. They're really, really pretty. $60. It's very hefty, but Nars is not known to be inexpensive. And this is a similar formula that these shades are limited edition and new. The formula is one that will be recognizable to those of us who love and use and rely on Nars blushes. And I like to use these cheek palettes on my eyes too, which is kind of what we're going to do today in a moment, actually. But first, I want to show you some swatches in 2 different lightings. Let's look at the 6 shades first swatched on my arm in studio lighting, and these swatches are going to be done as they are laid out in the palette. You guys are responding well to that. So here they are, the top 3 shades and the bottom 3 shades in the palette in studio lighting. That is Guilty Pleasure, Famous, and Golden Age. And underneath it we have Limelight, Paramount, and Premier. I cannot believe it. The Nars names do not embarrass me this time around. That is very rare. Usually there's 1 or 2 of those that are slightly naughty and I feel embarrassed saying on camera, but they made it easy for me this time. Let's take a look at these same shades on my arm in the warm Southern California sunshine. Take a look at them. They are very, very pretty, and I think they're shown off to their best when they are in natural lighting like that. The fun thing about this palette is it really does go everywhere. We have this really bright apricot shade, but we also have pinks and a kind of natural and rosies, and it gets, you know, there's a lot in there happening with these. So let's try them on. And I'm going to make a little bit of a clown of myself on purpose so that we can see all the looks. I could have done a montage where I did 6 different looks into. I thought it would be a little bit more fun for us to just kind of play with the look. So I got a bunch of blush brushes out. I'm going to try to use some even as highlighter or topper blushes. And we're just going to go along that way so we can see how they look. I did this with the Hourglass holiday palettes and people seem to like that as well. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Let's start here. Let's do these 2 first, okay? So this one here is the shade Famous, and I'm just going to put my brush into it really, really well. This is a Rephr brush number 19 that I'm using. These stars, in case you're wondering, are on top. They're pushed in and imprinted and kind of embossed in, and they will kind of go away eventually, but it will take a while. So those stars will stay there for a while. Okay, I'm going to kind of cheek swatch this, so it's going to be very deep, and again, will not be how I would normally do my blush for every day. Although the way I've done it there, I almost could. But I am trying indeed with this shade Famous to make a stripe rather than blend it, because I am kind of hoping to kind of cheek swatch these so that you can see what these look like. Now keep in mind with this funny looking line here on my face, please keep in mind that I am a light, medium, neutral, pretty much across the board light, medium, neutral. I know that I have some makeup artists who watch this channel just to help them choose some of the shades they'll be working with. Let's switch brushes. And I'm going to go actually into this third shade over, which looks like it needs to be super glued down by Mr. Not Fit for Print Beauty. Not that I can't super glue, but he has it in his work area. This is Golden Age, the shade, and it's kind of wanting to come out. So I'm going to do a stripe underneath Famous, just so you can see the difference. Again, please do not think that I would wear my makeup this way. This is not a tutorial. So we have Famous and these two shades here, Famous and Golden Age, nice and dark for you to see there on my cheeks, Famous and Golden Age. And then we're going to go down below. I'm switching brushes to keep it all clean. We're working with all Rephr brushes today. This is the shade Paramount. Don't worry, I'm going to get to these two shades. I haven't forgotten them. Here is this kind of apricot shade, Paramount. As you see, I'm really getting in there so we can get a really nice swatch. Again, on light, medium, neutral skin. This is a pretty one. And I'm really building it up, and it's not looking as clown-like as that side of my face. So let's see what we get here. Now it's starting to build up. I have to go out and do some errands after this. I better clean myself up. I'm not used to getting funny looks, but I think I would this time. Okay, so there we go. That is actually almost looking like I could wear it like that. I don't think I would. It's still a stripe of color. But there it is. That's my favorite so far. Again, here, this side of my face, we have these top two, 1, 2. And now here we have this bottom one called Paramount right there. Swatch nice and deeply. Switching brushes yet again. And let's go to this really dark shade, which is called Premier. And I'm really trying to saturate my brush with it. I'm holding this palette carefully if it looks awkward, because that shade right there, Golden Age, does want to fall out. Okay, this is going to be a deep one. Oh, maybe not. I am using a very fluffy brush, so maybe that's why. Okay, woo! Now this is the Nars formula, as I mentioned, that we are used to and that so many of us love. It builds so beautifully. Pardon how silly I look with these stripes on my face, but we now have 4 of the 6 shades going here. Again, on this side of my face, we have this middle and right shade here. So we have Famous and Golden Age. And now on the bottom, we have my favorite, which is that top shade, which is called Paramount, that apricot-y shade. And underneath it, the very dark Premier shade. Okay. I want to put these on the eyes a little bit too. And then let's go over here and let's play a little bit in these. Let's kind of use them almost as a highlighter. I look a little silly. Sorry about that, guys. Here's Guilty Pleasure at the very top. This is a really pretty shade, and I'm just kind of wondering if we were to highlight with this, what it would look like. Yes, this is very highlighty. I'm actually having trouble even seeing it. I don't know if you guys can. Yes, this is very much like a highlighter. So let's see if that will show off. See, this side has nothing here, and this side has its very, 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 very gentle. In fact, let me take one of the eyeshadow brushes that I brought over here, and let's really lay it on there so you can see it. This one is a tough one to build up. It's very much a highlight. I'll put it on the eye, and maybe you will see it better, okay? Again, this is the shade Guilty Pleasure, and I am now putting Guilty Pleasure on the eye. It is a very gentle highlight. That would be a highlight, I think, on pretty much every skin tone. Maybe not the fairest of fair. It is very pretty, but it is definitely a highlighty shade. You can definitely see it now. It's on the eye as well. And then we're going to move down to Limelight here, which I think is going to be another very highlight. Well, maybe not. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a darker, either a very light blush or a darker highlight. I'm trying to apply it there, and then I'll show you it on the eye. Okay, and here is Limelight on the eye. I am really over applying, just to give us an idea of what these look like. I am not trying to make a mockery or be silly. Okay, and there is it on the eye and on the top here. Let me put a little bit more of that Limelight up here. That has a little bit less of a reflective quality than the top left shade. See, oh, that did fall out. The top left shade, Guilty Pleasure. It has a little bit less of a reflective quality. So it's more really, let me put in my shade that fell out. It's more really of a blush shade, because it's a little bit flatter. But you can see it up here. It's a very gentle shade. Whereas the top left Guilty Pleasure, I had to check the name, is much more reflective, and I think is really for the most part, just a highlight. So we really do run the gamut here, you guys. I'm sorry with my silly face going here, but we really do run the gamut from the darkest blushes to the lightest pretty much highlighter. In terms of a reflective quality, I think this apricot shade Paramount could be used in a way as a sort of highlighter, except that the apricot shade, maybe not. Definitely Guilty Pleasure is mostly, I think, for highlighting. I think these would be beautiful in the eyes, especially these two together in the eyes. So I think you could make a lot of looks with it, including the darker blushes, which are very pretty when gentle. This one is such a pretty gentle blush shade, this one down here, Limelight. And the name, I mean, they're the shades, if you look at them, aside from me looking a bit silly, the shades themselves are very, very pretty. So what comparisons can I do for you guys? You know what I think I'm going to do right now? I think I'm going to come back and we're going to do one look that doesn't look so goofy. I'm just using the whole palette for eyes and cheeks. So let's do that. Let me clean this off so we don't look so silly. Okay, so with that, we're not making a mockery of this beautiful palette. Let's actually do one look with it. I brought over some clean Wayne Goss brushes, and instead of using all of the shades, obviously, I am going to pick and choose. I am really, really enjoying this shade here, and this shade is called Famous. So let's use this Wayne Goss number 12 brush to actually use Famous as a blush only, not as a stripe, but to do a more serious look rather. I hate to do just the face swatching because it can come off a bit silly. So let's also see what this does when we actually use it as a real palette. I have put it down on the table. Sorry, I'm not holding it up, but I am going into this middle shade Famous over and over again. And you know the way the Nars powders are. You got to kind of really get in there and get them and really build them up. They don't oversaturate the brush, and I'm okay with that. Okay. Now I am applying it very heavily though so that you guys can see it, but look how pretty that is. And if I use the same brush and go into that Guilty Pleasure, I'm going to just put it over as a kind of highlighter blush topper. I just think that's really pretty. And that just gives me a really highlighted look. Doesn't give me any sort of bronzing, but that's not what I'm looking for. Just really, really pretty. All right, now let's go in and use some different shades on the eyes. I really was enjoying this Limelight shade on the eyes, so let's do that again. I took everything off my eyes. I still have some mascara on, but that's okay. I just wanted to do a non-silly look, you know. And I'm just trying to do this really, really fast. Just a blush and a highlight. There's nothing in here that I really think could be used as a bronzer, and I probably do need some bronzing, but look at that there. And what if I even put a little bit of that Limelight over the top? I just wanted to use this as a, you know, a regular old pretty little palette, and then I can just run my errands. I told you guys I have to go run my errands, so now I can just kind of run my errands and look just a little bit more normal, right? So that was just me putting together, what was that, minute and a half, 2 minute? I don't know, I guess I can look at the timing. Quick look on eyes and cheeks with this. Couldn't really do any bronzing. I don't know if that would actually bronze, so I probably need to add a little bronzer. But look how quick that was. Throw on some mascara, I have the Powermatte lipstick on, throw in a little lip balm even, head out the door. You got a little color on your face. Super pretty. So for me, worth the $60, but remember, I do love Nars, and I love the way their blushes work. I love that they're buildable, and they never really oversaturate the face. I like the formula. I just like that. And if you are like me, so many of you are, I think you will be pleased with this as well. I get excited for the Nars holiday releases. They're always so creative, and Francois Nars, who's still the creative director there at his own brand, comes up with these just amazingly beautiful palettes and shades, always limited edition, and they feel so collectible. So tell me what you're thinking. Are you loving this like I am? Are you waiting to see what else Nars is going to do? I think there's been a few hints of some more things to come, if I'm not wrong. Lots of good stuff on the horizon too. All of my holiday releases are starting to come in. I can't believe it either. So let me know what you're thinking about this palette in particular and Nars in the comment section. I always love to hear what you think. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I sure hope that you did. And hey, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that we can spread the word wide and far. I would love to see you guys over on Instagram and TikTok too. And don't forget to become a member here for behind the scenes stuff. Such a mouthful. I hope to see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.